D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? And welcome to my weekend review, where I come to you every Sunday with 3 entertainment stories that I personally find interesting, and then we discuss them down below. Now, down below, you can read the articles that I read to bring you this episode, and you can read them for yourself and come up with your own opinion, or you can just listen to me where I will break it down and just explain to you what's going on and everything. Before I get started, though, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, and small channels like myself usually get pushed to the back of the line. So I please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. So why don't we go ahead and get started on these 3 stories. And so for my first story, so the Batgirl movie has got its directors, plural. So they just announced this week that Adil El Arbi and Bilal Fallah will direct the Batgirl movie. Now, they haven't cast Batgirl yet, and of course, I'll cover that story when they do. But these 2 directors, you may know them as directing the Bad Boys for Life, Bad Boys 3 movie, which I thought was excellent. They did such a good job and everything. I do enjoy that movie very much. And then they also they directed the upcoming Ms. Marvel TV show for Disney Plus and Marvel, the MCU. Now, of course, we can't judge anything on that because it's not out yet, and it won't be for a little bit longer. But I do think that from the Bad Boys movie, I do think that they are extremely talented, and I'm excited to see what they have. Now, I have to admit, I'm a little nervous when it comes to the writer, because the writer is the very lovely Christina Hodson. Now, if you may remember, she wrote Birds of Prey, that piece of crap, and she's writing the upcoming the Flash movie, or she wrote the first script. From what I understand, it's under significant rewrites, and that makes me nervous. I mean, maybe her original script, obviously wasn't good enough because it's under a lot of rewrites, and so I go, what was wrong with it that they had to go and fix it? Now, as far as, like I said before, they haven't cast Batgirl, but there was a lot of talk about how it was going to be because Bruce Wayne, Michael Keaton Batman from the 1989 and 1992 Batman Returns movies. He would be coming into this movie, and they were going to do kind of like a Batgirl Beyond instead of Batman Beyond. And that was a possibility, which I hope they don't do, because that sounds like a friggin' awful idea. But I do, the directors are, I think, talented, so I have hope for them. I have no hope for Christina Hodson. I have no love for her movies. I mean, she is mediocre at best, and at worst, a complete failure. So I think that this might need some more rewrites, if you ask me. But good on Adil El Arbi and Bilal Fallah. Good for them. I hope they keep getting work. I hope this ends up good. I can't wait to see Ms. Marvel and see what they did there, even though I really don't like that character that much, but we'll see what they did there. That doesn't mean it can't be good. And we'll just see, how that turns out. So I'm quite excited for them. Good for them. So that is my first story of the day. So for my second story of the day, there was an announcement from DC Animation this week where they are going to be having 3 animated TV shows for HBO Max. And I'm quite, 2 shows, 1 movie that they announced. Sorry, I spoke too soon. The first one I want to talk about is this Batman show. Now, this will, again, like I said, be for HBO Max. And as of right now, it's only 1 season. We'll see if it gets another season, but it will be directed by, or it's going to be done by Matt Reeves, who is doing the Batman movie. And I have to say, I'm a little nervous for that movie, not in different ways. I'm excited about it, but I'm everybody's like, Matt Reeves is all in on Batman, in which I find very interesting that he's all in on Batman and everything. I from this picture, Well, we'll talk about that in just a second. So it's going to have JJ Abrams involved. I don't know. I think he's just producing, like he's just another executive producer. That part makes me nervous. I think JJ Abrams ruins everything he touches. I think he's just a big mess creative wise. I don't think that he is somebody that makes me nervous because I don't like anything that he does. I think that he's such a hack, and he is the worst science fiction writer ever. And I'm really nervous about that. And I'm really nervous that Warner Brothers gave him any say over the DC universe. It's so crazy. So Bruce Timm is involved also, and you may remember him from doing the Batman the Animated Series from the 90s, which I love that show. That show is so freaking good. Go back and watch it. It's on HBO Max now, I think. I don't know. I haven't watched it on there yet, but that show is so freaking good. It's like ridiculous how good it is. And it introduced Harley Quinn to the DC universe. So we have Bruce Timm and the Batman Animated Series to thank for that. The one thing, they didn't bring Paul Dini back. I find that interesting that they didn't bring him back to do this show, but they brought Bruce Timm back. Because Paul Dini helped create also the animated series, Batman the Animated Series, and he is such a talent also. So I'm curious as to why they didn't bring him back. Now, if you're looking at this picture, because they only did this one picture, and it's very Batman noir kind of thing. And they said that it's a reimagining of the mythology, which I'm all like, what does that even mean? And that also makes me nervous because the thing is, Batman has such a rich mythology. And I mean, and like I said before, a small piece of me is a little nervous for this Batman movie just because I don't know why Matt Reeves is changing certain things. And I don't know, but at the same time, I have the right to reverse my opinion and change it, and I will reserve judgment for the whole thing after I see, like, maybe some stills, maybe a trailer, maybe a clip, maybe the whole show. We'll see, because this could. I don't like Batman drawn this way. I don't like the ears and everything, but at the same time, it could be totally amazing, and that could be, a nothing burger. So we'll see. We'll see. So that's the first animated show that they announced. The second one was My Adventures with Superman. Now, this one, it takes place with the main characters are Clark and Lois, and then Jimmy Olsen, and they're in their 20s, and it's them, and it's Clark trying to figure out how to create like this alternate secret identity, but also be Superman and everything. I have to admit, looking at this picture, they race bent Jimmy Olsen again. They did that in Supergirl. I mean, like, I'm okay with it, but like Supergirl made him this like super buff dude. Plus, I didn't like the actor that played him. I don't think he's talented at all. And then this one, they went a little bit more, looks like geekier approach. Like he's kind of skinny and everything, and very like, I don't know, pushover-ish, which I think Jimmy Olsen is pushover-ish anyways. So that'll be fine right there. I don't like Lois's look. I think she looks way too much like Selena Kyle more than she does Lois Lane, which I do not like that. I wish that she did look more like Lois Lane from the comic books, but she doesn't, and I don't like this look. I understand that they want to go, maybe, I don't know what they're trying to go for with her on this look. She's got the short hair, which I guess is fine, but like I said, I don't like, she looks way too much like Selena Kyle. That's what I thought when I first saw her picture. I was like, why is Selena Kyle in this? And she's even got these cat-like eyes right here with them pointing off right there. It's just very weird. And then Superman looks fine, Clark Kent, but he is being voiced by Jack Quaid, which if you may know him from The Boys, which I like Jack Quaid. He seems like a pretty good guy. And I don't know. This sounds the worst out of all three that I'm about to mention, and I don't know how I feel about it. Again, I'd have to watch something or see more from it to really give you an idea of what I think about it. But as of right now, this sounds awful to me. Now, as far as the animation goes, the style looks a lot like Lower Decks, or maybe like She-Ra. Speaking of Lower Decks, Jack Quaid voiced one of the characters on Lower Decks. And speaking of She-Ra, the writer of She-Ra announced, I believe yesterday, sometime this week that she said, and her name is Josie Campbell, and she said, well, looks like news of what I've been working on just dropped. Can't wait for you guys to see Lois, Jimmy, and Clark in action. My Adventures with Superman, Jack Quaid fronted animated series gets 2 seasons ordered from HBO Max and Cartoon Network. And I was going to say that it's got 2 seasons already in the bag. Well, it's been in ordered. So we'll see how that works out. Like I said, I think out of all of them, this one sounds the worst one out of all of them. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm reserving judgment, and I have the right to change my opinion. But I didn't really watch She-Ra. I only watched like a couple episodes, and I was like, not interested. But we'll see. We'll see how this works out. Like I said, we'll wait. We'll wait. Anyways, so the last one is the Injustice animated movie. Now I have to tell you right now that of all of them, this is the one I'm most excited for. Now, from what I understand, the movie is all done. It's all set to go, but they're not going to release it until I think August or October. I can't remember off the top of my head, but that they're going to release it like a snippet, like a first look after when they release the Long Halloween Part 2, which I'm quite excited to see those. And I'm not sure, they didn't really go into great detail as far as that. From what I understand, also, there's going to be a bunch of characters in there, which is great. I love Elseworld stories. I love seeing characters, but done a different way. It'll be super fun. And if you watch the Injustice, I don't know how they're going to do this. Are they going to do just the Injustice video game and that storyline, or the comic books? By the way, the comic books were fantastic. The game, I didn't play the game, but I did watch all of the cutscenes to make the Injustice movie, and I liked it. So I hope that I hope that they do a good job with it. And I think that they will. I think that this is a good story. I just don't know exactly what they're going to do. Is this a sequel, prequel? They already did a sequel. Is this a prequel? What is going on here? And it'll be interesting to see. I can't wait to see the character designs, all that good stuff. But this is the one we got the least amount of information for this one, and it's the one I'm most excited about. But mostly because we already know what happened with the Injustice game and everything, and all the characters and stuff like that. But yeah, so that is my second story of the week. And so for my third and final story, it looks like they've done another casting for the Green Lantern TV series, and they've cast Jeremy Irvine. Sorry. I wrote it down on my notes because I write my notes, but I just looked it up on the internet. It's Irvine. So Jeremy Irvine, and he's from Treadstone. That's the show he's on. But you also may know him. What I know him from is Mamma Mia. Here we go again. So Mamma Mia 2 or whatnot. And he plays a young Sam. And I don't really know him. Like, I mean, I barely remember that movie. He was also in The Woman in Black 2. I don't remember him in that movie either. So I can't speak to his acting chops. But we'll just see how he does or whatnot. So this is being produced. Oh, sorry. He is playing Alan Scott, the Green Lantern / Green Lantern and everything. And we'll get into that in just one second. But this is being produced by Greg Berlanti and Jeff Johns. Jeff Johns is a a terrible person. That's who he is. And Greg Berlanti, I don't think he's a terrible person, but his shows, the CW shows right now are not that great. The only one that's really good is Superman and Lois. The rest of them suck. They suck. And I think that Greg Berlanti is not he needs to take a more hands-on approach with his TV shows if he wants them to be successful. Now, Jeremy Irvine is joining Finn Wittrock, which I did that story a couple of weeks ago, last week, I don't remember. And he is Finn Wittrock is playing Guy Gardner, so he'll be joining next to him and everything. So the question is, who is Alan Scott? And Alan Scott became a founding member of the Justice Society of America, one of the first such teams of mystery men or superheroes in the comic books. Now, following World War II, the character's popularity began to fade along with the decline of the golden age of comic books, leading to the cancellation. After 12 years out of print, DC chose to reinvent Green Lantern as a science fiction hero, Hal Jordan, in 1959. Later, DC would again revisit Alan Scott, establishing that Alan and Hal were the Green Lanterns of two different parallel worlds, with Alan residing on Earth 2 and Hal on Earth 1. Now, this show, Green Lantern, reinvents the classic DC property through a story spanning decades and galaxies, beginning on Earth in 1941 with the very first Green Lantern, secretly gay FBI agent Alan Scott, played by Jeremy Irvine in this, and 1984 with cocky alpha male Guy Gardner, played by Finn Wittrock, and half alien Bree Gerada, which they have not cast yet. And if they have, they haven't announced it as of filming this video. Now, they'll be joined by a multitude of other lanterns, from comic book favorites to never before seen heroes. Now, I have to say, I don't know how I feel about this show. It's very interesting that they can't get any names on here to play any of the characters. I'll be interested to see who they get to play, for instance, Bree Gerada, or any of the other I Cruz and what is the other Green Lanterns that's going to be in here? I can't remember off the top of my head, but it'll be interesting to see who they get to play those characters. I'm excited for the show, but not overwhelmingly excited. I like the Green Lanterns. They're not my favorite as far as the characters in the comic books, but I do enjoy their storylines and stuff. It'll just be interesting to see exactly what they do here. But I do find it very interesting that they can't get any big names on here, or even like mediocre name, like Jeremy Irvine. Who's ever heard of him? And Finn Wittrock. Yeah, you've heard of him from like American Horror Story, but like, other than that, I don't know him in anything. I mean, Ratchet, but I mean, like, okay, so what's his face that does all those shows will hire him. But I mean, other than that, I don't remember him in anything. So, I mean, how great can he be? So we'll see if his fan base marches over to that show. I have a feeling they won't. But yeah, so tell me, what do you guys think about this? How do you guys feel about Adil El Arbi and Bilal Fallah? Sorry if I got their names wrong. I'm trying. How do you feel about them directing the Batgirl movie that's going straight to HBO Max? Sorry, I forgot to mention that, but it's going straight to HBO Max. How do you guys feel about that? Do you think this will be good? How do you feel about them doing a Batgirl movie? How do you feel about these two directors? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Did you like Bad Boys for Life? Are you excited about Miss Marvel that they're going to be directing? How do you feel about the writer, Christina Hodson, all that good stuff? Tell me, how do you feel about these three projects for DC animation? How do you feel about the Batman noir looking style animation show by Matt Reeves and J.J. Abrams and Bruce Timm? You think that'll be great? How do you feel about My Adventures with Superman? Are you like me and you think this sounds not that great, but you're waiting to see? And then how do you feel about the Injustice movie, animated movie? I'm quite excited about that. I don't know if you're quite excited about it. Who was your favorite Injustice member and everything? Aquaman. And then how do you guys feel about Jeremy Irvine joining the Green Lantern show as Alan Scott, aka the first Green Lantern on Earth? Do you like Jeremy Irvine? Are you like me and you never really heard of him? Like, I kind of remember him from Mamma Mia too, but not really, and everything. Go ahead and tell me what you guys think. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys next week on my weekend review. You guys have a good week. Bye.
Hey nerds, if you like this video, go ahead and click that Geek What icon and subscribe. And if you like this video, go ahead and join me every Sunday with my weekend review.